I think it's a given for people who understand how the mind works, that how we think directly influences how we perform.
Focus and concentration is everything. I mean, that's basically where you need to be in the car. You need to be focused on the right things at the right times, and anytime that focus or that concentration is diminished is when mistakes happen.
When you're driving as fast as we do and pushing the limits of a car, if you're not 100% dedicated to what you're doing, there's only bad things coming your way.
Without it, you find yourself in the tires or in the gravel or off the track. It's one of those things that as a driver you develop. You normally have like a natural skill to be able to just concentrate on one task in hand. But then at the same time, as you keep learning, you're able to just kind of let yourself go on autopilot.
Concentration is key to make sure you're going to hit the apex right, turn at the right point, brake just as much as you need, not too much, not too little.
I think it's very important. I think it's the basics of everything, how committed you are, how determined you are to do something.
You have to sustain it. That's the hard part, is for these 2.5, 3-hour races, you have to not let it slip at all. I mean, you can't afford it at this speed.
And obviously you want to extract the best out of the race car, so the grip that you get from the tires is what you feel, and concentration is what's going to give you those feelings, those feedbacks. And the more focused you are, the more precise you can be.
The fundamental prerequisite to getting in the zone is the ability to focus in the moment on the task in front of you, to the exclusion of everything else that in that moment becomes a distractor.
No, there is a zone. There is definitely a zone. And what it is, I think it's a point where it's such completely pure focus on what you're doing and everything in the driving. It's almost like you feel sometimes, when I've done a qualifying lap sometimes, and I think, well, I don't know if it was any good, and I'll get on the radio and say, I'm not sure if that was a good lap, and they go, you're on pole.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in the zone, it's it's typically when things are working good and you're hitting your marks and the car's doing what you want it to do, and you're able to knock down good lap times and very consistent.
Every now and then, you get in the car and you make one with the car. The car does just about everything you ask it to do, and there's no surprises, no bad things coming your way. It just flows and goes through one lap after another, and that's a very special moment. It doesn't happen every weekend. Sometimes you're lucky when you have it once a year. But the more it happens, usually the better, because that's when you're really on the money and you make things happen.
At the beginning of a racing career, it just happens. You don't know why. And then once you understand, you try to recreate it, try to make it happen as often as possible, because that means good results. It's a very special thing. It feels like you're flying above the racetrack, that the car is doing everything that you need all of a sudden, and you're just going faster than anyone.
To be honest with you, to be good at this, you got to be in the zone every day. When you drive the car, it's not. I always tell people, if you got to make an effort to do it, you shouldn't be doing it.
Because you blew a corner, you're thinking about the corner you just messed up. What's likely to occur in the next corner? The likelihood is you're going to mess that corner up as well. Why? Well, the truth is, physically, I'm right here in this next corner, but mentally, I'm actually back in the last corner thinking about what I did to mess it up.
You have to recover from it pretty quick, and experience helps a lot with that, from recovering from mistakes. You have to get back into your race rhythm as quickly as possible. That's crucial, because every second, every half second, every tenth lost could be the difference at the end of the race. So recovering from mistakes is a tough one. And you certainly get better with experience at it, but you have to build up a certain mentality that everything has to be put behind you.
If you get spun around and just have to, recover and make the best of the day, you do. It's every time you have a setback, and we've had, one in St. Pete with KVSH. We got a drive-through, we got, sent to the back, and you still, it's 20 laps left, and you just try and pass as many cars as you can. And get the best result for yourself and for the team. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's usually a big disappointment, especially if you're in the lead and everything's going well, but you have to rebound from it. So you always have to believe. You're racing, you're last, everything's going wrong, but you have to believe that it's going to come back. And the fact that you believe in it just puts you in the right mood, and concentration is back at 100%.
I've never been one that gets too frustrated with anything. I've always been pretty calm and just been able to just instantly forget just what happened and just get on with it. Because I think if you always think about, oh, crap, you know, that's happened, and you know, I think you talk yourself out of some opportunities. So I think you just gotta forget it, just move on and just do as much as you can. Because at the end of the day, if you come out of the car and you know you're given 100%, that's all you could have done.
I have the mentality of just you know, never give up. You know, if I'm 2 laps down, all right, how do we get 1 lap down? If I'm 1 lap down, how do we get on the lead lap? And then if you're in the back, how do you get to the front? You know, and these races are long enough. Even though they're somewhat sprint races, they're long enough that you can recover. And you know, if you have a good car and great pit crew like we do, you never give up, regardless of the circumstance.
And you always got to push as hard as you can, and you always got to drive the wheels out of the car. The only way to get to the top of this is to be better than everybody else, and the only way to be better than everybody else is just work harder.